Jake Fey, Chair of the House Transportation Committee from the 27th Legislative District, serving Ruston, Fife, and most of the city of Tacoma. And the conversation today is about the challenges budgetarily for the state and in particularly for the transportation needs of the state. It's been out there in the news media about the challenges with the operating budget, which affects everything from K-12 to health care. And while it is a lot of dollars, it's over $70 million biennial budget in the case of the operating budget. In the case of transportation, it's more like $14 to $15 billion a biennium. And in our case, over the next 6 years or 3 bienniums, just to maintain what we have and what we've committed to and is underway is $6 billion. So a higher percentage of a shortfall than the operating budget. And that does not include, if we wanted to build ferries faster, it doesn't include our obligation under a court case and our moral responsibility on culverts to finish the work. It's a pretty deep shortfall that we're going to address. We have to start with, okay, what is it that can be delayed in a feasible fashion, that we're not already contracted through projects that are already underway with the state. We'll have to look likely first to see what the delay is for other projects and pushing them out in terms of when they'll get completed, which quite frankly means that those costs will increase for those projects because our inflation rate in the construction area is somewhere around 25 to 30%. That's a lot more than it is for the rest of the economy. So it's a big challenge. We were surprisingly hit with cost overruns. We had a project in the Seattle area that was expected at the time it went out for bid to be $1 billion project, and the bid comes in and it's $1.7 billion. And then you've got a shortage of labor, shortage of contractors, supply problems. We had a concrete strike in the last year or so prices for concrete has gone up. Everything is up on the construction side of business in terms of the materials that are used, the laborers that are used. So fundamentally, it's a big challenge for us to try to deal with this. Transportation is a big economic driver for the state of Washington. We've got 2 ports, one of which is in my district, and there's a project related to that, and it's about their competitiveness on both Port of Seattle and Tacoma, about being competitive in a West Coast market. And so we have to look at revenue options. And I'm working closely with Representative Berg, who does our work on revenues for the state, because both the operating budget and the transportation budget, there are significant consequences if we simply try to delay or cut our way out of this situation. But the starting point has to be is to understand what we will need to do to stay in balance this current biennium. I've got great staff that tries to keep up with the many constituents that have either issues in their own personal life they need our assistance with or want to express their views about different legislation. We do our best, and we have a little bit added staff during session to make sure that we hear you. If you send me an email that says, I'm concerned about this bill, we read those, I know it, but I may not be able to reply to you directly for a period of time just because of what the workload in any individual week might be. For me, success would be having a plan to fund our obligation for culverts, to be able to set ourselves up so that as we go ahead with projects that we're certain that we're going to have the dollars to finish them so that we're not caught off guard, so to take into account the current marketplace. Certainly, my district includes a ferry landing. We really have to address our vessels for ferries, but also we need to address making sure that the workplace is a workplace that entices people to work for the ferry system. I think that they're good jobs, and I could probably go on with some more priorities, but those are the key ones. It's sort of riding the ship financially, and it's going to be difficult to raise revenue, but I think it's going to be necessary to support what needs to happen to keep this a growing and wonderful state that it is.